Hey guys, so in this video I am filming because I got the roast beef started in the one video and the bread started, at least I'm making the dough in the machine because I'm running out of time. This is for an easy cranberry pistachio cheese log, and because when I ordered the 8-ounce ones from Walmart they only had these little guys, so I'm gonna make two different ones, and I have a modification of the ingredients. I have the ingredients for it as well as bonus ingredients. So I'm going to be making this two different ways. I will leave the recipe down below. I will show you everything that I'm doing, and I have everything out, I think. Everything I'm going to need, except for the saran wrap, which is a big box over there on the counter. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully you guys like this, and yeah, I will talk to you. I'll probably do a voiceover at the end or something. So I'm going to be watching Samantha March on my phone while I play with food. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Hey guys, so this part I've actually sped up ×2 just so I can get things going a little bit faster. I should have got out like all my measuring and things and whatnot beforehand, but there's a few things I had to pull out. Now, this recipe calls for cranberries as well as shelled, roasted, salted pistachios. I ended up also getting dried cherries and pumpkin seeds because I did this as like a two kind of thing, and believe it or not, we still have cheese log. Holy crap, we have way too much cheese log. Dad was supposed to go to a party for his work like the weekend after I made these, and I was like, please take a cheese log with you, we have too much. So yeah, anyways, he ended up not going because he was working on stuff. And when I ordered the pistachios on Walmart, all they had were these like individual packs. I don't like using things like this because of the fact that they are wasteful because of all the extra packaging. So I will leave the entire recipe down below. And because I did this in half and half, I didn't take that into consideration when I made the mixture to go on the outside of the cheese log. So I did the it says it calls for 1.25 cups of cranberries and 1 cup of shelled roasted pistachios. I ended up doing 1 cup of cranberries and 1 cup of pistachios, and my little Black & Decker little guy there that I'm using was definitely not man enough for the challenge, so I ended up having to get out our big food processor. That little Black & Decker thing, we've had, my mom's oldest sister, Aunt Pat, had given me that when I was like 19 or 20, just to give you an idea of how old that little guy is. It is still working. It's still amazing. I still love it, but it just I had too much to get done in it, so I ended up having to get out our big one that was, my mom and my dad's when I was younger. So the bigger food processor that I dig out here in a minute is even older than this little one that I'm trying to use. It just didn't chop things as finely as I wanted. I ended up putting too much in, so I had to separate it out. So what I ended up doing was this part of it first, and I didn't think about needing to the cheese was sitting on the counter, so it wasn't like fridge temperature anymore, but it wasn't malleable enough to make into the mixture that I needed. So I ended up having to stick it in the microwave for like 15 seconds, and then I did it for like 30 seconds, and then that was way too much. So I would say heating it in increments of like 10 to 15 seconds to soften it. That way it doesn't like boil or doesn't like stick to the plate or get all weird. And this goat cheese log that I got had a serious bite to it. Normally when I buy feta cheese, I buy a specific brand of feta cheese, and it's nice and smooth and creamy, and it doesn't bite you when you eat it. So this other one that I got as a replacement because they were out of the one that I ordered from the brand that I'm used to using, it had some serious bite to it. So that was another thing. We didn't go through the cheese log as fast as we thought we would because of the fact that it is a little bit bitey. And there's the big food processor. So, take that into consideration. Also, depending on how tart you like things, because feta cheese has a distinct flavor. And for those that don't know, feta cheese is made from goat milk. I'm a huge fan of it. I wish I could learn how to make it from like old fashioned artisans or something like that, because well, of course, my dad won't let me have a goat because they literally eat everything. And I'm talking everything. He says, no, we're not getting a goat because they will eat the trees, the bark off the trees, the grass, the fence posts, the paint off the car bumper. I mean, literally, goats eat everything. So dad's like, no, you cannot have a goat. So here I am making the mixture for the other one, where I used pumpkin seeds, which they actually call them pepitas. And I don't think I'd ever heard them called that because they're just dried pumpkin seeds to me. And then there's the cranberries, or no, yeah, that's dried cherries there. So I ended up grinding that stuff up first, which is what I'm doing. And then when it comes to like mixing the cheese log and all that kind of fun stuff, you will, I was watching YouTube on my phone. As you can see, Samantha March is at the very corner of the bottom of the screen. You can see she's like kind of upside down on my phone, but you can see like part of Samantha March in the bottom corner. I do leave my phone playing YouTube videos and stuff while I'm doing various things. So, because I get distracted very easily. So usually I'm like listening to music or watching something on YouTube. And that's one of those like flexible plastic cutting boards. I like using those because it makes moving things so much easier. And now I'm just looking at the recipe. I do have it sitting, right here on my keyboard so I can do this voiceover. Like I said, I will leave everything listed down below. I will try and come back after I do the voiceover part of it and leave measurements as well. And there's that's the cream cheese. And then the honey, I didn't realize I didn't need the honey for anything until like really after. I'm like, okay, where is my... And if you've ever bought one of those things of measuring spoons, they usually come in like they have a ring on them. Well, what I've done is I've taken all the random ones that I still have, because I've bought several sets and some of them gotten lost over the years, and that one's, as you can see, it's got a hole in the end of the handle. I just kind of stuck them all on one ring, and that is local made wildflower honey. I only use local honey, and the honey that we have is actually made from a collection of honey from around our local area. The lady who is now running it is the daughter of my dad. Actually went to school with her. Her father, Mr. Palmer, passed away several years ago, but we always, ever since I was a kid, have always used Palmer's honey. So they're local to Central Florida area, and they do collect honey from like Mount Dora and Eustis, Umatilla, Donna Vista, Grand Island. So they gather honey from several different local locations, which for somebody that has allergies and stuff, I would recommend getting local honey, just for the simple fact that it also helps cut down on the pollen that affects you with allergies. Now I'm just doing all of my like dry spices, and for those that don't know, I don't like using rosemary that isn't ground. Even when I grow rosemary in the garden, I like to have it, I use my mortar and pestle and grind it up because of the fact that I don't like how barky it is. This recipe calls for the goat cheese, cream cheese, honey, ground ginger, ground cinnamon, salt, dried thyme, dried rosemary, pepper, and then of course your mixture of the cranberries and pistachios, or if you want to use the modified version of it, you can do the pumpkin seeds and the dried cherries. And then you just kind of stir it together and mix it up, and that between the ginger, the cinnamon, and the honey, it made it look quite brown. So, and this is when I realized that I didn't have, this is just the cream cheese. Does not even have the goat milk in it, or the goat cheese in it yet. And I was like, oh crap, I need to do that. And I don't know why I'm spooning out half of it here. Probably because I didn't think about it what I should have done was just add both of the little goat cheese logs to it. Oh, that's why. That's why. I forgot this part. You have to like spoon some of the mixture in, and then you mix it into the cheese log part, or you mix it in with the cheese stuff. I should have added the goat cheese first. So I would recommend, if you do this and you're not separating it into two logs like I did, add the goat cheese before you add like half of your coating mixture, because it would make it a whole lot easier to get it smooth. You can also use, see, there it is there. There's the goat cheese. Yep. I just realized I forgot it. I was like, ah, crap. So there I wander off to the microwave and toss it in and throw the wrapper away. And trying to get, all the little extra bits off the wrapper. I try to save everything. I have a bad habit of being a pack rat. And there I'm getting the other one opened up. It's soft, but it's not quite soft enough. And there I am putting stuff away as I go. I always recommend clean as you cook. It makes it so much easier at the end when you are done. We're waiting on the microwave. That's what we're doing. Yep, going to check the microwave. And that one, yep, that's done. That one was a little too hot. And the plate is also rather hot. Again, scraping off everything, saving as little, I try and use everything. I'm the kind of person who will turn things on the side and or dump them upside down to try and get every last bit out. I'm the same way when it comes to like shampoos and conditioners in my bathroom. I'm the same way with food. When I was growing up, when I was really little, we didn't have a lot of money. And then as I got older, my parents were working really good jobs, making quite good money for the time. And so, we started being a little bit more wasteful. But because my grandparents grew up in the Depression era, and my dad grew up literally with dirt floors, my parents were very conscious of what they use and how they use things. So I think that has influenced me in my life. And even if I was to come into money at some point or whatever, it probably will never happen. But if I ever get to a situation where I can go to the store and not have to worry about what I'm spending ever again, I would still be the kind of person to use the last bit of everything. Even if I hated a product, I would either try and like give it to somebody that can use it or sell it or whatever, instead of just throwing it out. It really bugs me to throw stuff out that isn't, completely used up, because it's just something that's ingrained in me to always try and use everything. And now we have a big thing of saran wrap that is made for commercial use, sitting on the counter next to the stove. I would really love to like redesign this kitchen. I mean, this house was built in the 70s, so the kitchen isn't up to date at all, and I hate the cabinets and stuff and the way this bar is 2 levels. But basically, you just put a piece of saran wrap down, and then I just kind of twisted it and made it kind of roundish, and then you stick it in the freezer. It says you're supposed to stick it in the freezer for 20 to 30 minutes to let it chill. That way you can roll it in the rest of the mixture that goes on the outside. And then I do show you, I do talk through a few things, and my dad will come in the kitchen and rant about his computer. We did buy him a new computer recently. It won't be here until February, so he's a little upset about that. Nothing we can do about it. It's going to take several weeks to craft the computer that I built for him. And I'm using the same company that my computer is by, so that I know it's a good machine. They use good products and good electronics on the inside. But I designed my dad's new computer that's coming, but he's having issues with his video card. And my dad visits a lot of websites that I never in my life would ever go to, for the simple fact that they sell your information, they steal your credit card numbers, they do all kinds of hateful things with your information, and I'm very careful about that. So Now I'm going to go toss that in the freezer, and then I will be back and I will talk to you through the rest of this. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Okay, so now I'm going to start the process of the cheese log. This one is almost too close to being frozen for my taste, but it calls for the mixture. This is the mixture that's left over from this, and it says honey. This is wildflower honey that's from a local distributor, and it says line the counter with parchment paper. And it says take this stuff and put it out on the parchment paper. There we go. Now this is a different mixture than the ingredients call for. This is cherries, dried cherries, and pumpkin seeds. The other one is the cranberries and pistachios. Then it says take this out, plop it in the middle, and roll it until it sticks. And this does, I lick the batter out of the like spoon and stuff. And this stuff is quite bitey. It has a nice tart, sharp kick to it. In order to save from having to wash my hands again, I'm going to cheat. And use parchment paper to help press it in. And I forgot that I was splitting this recipe in half, so I had more mixture of the pumpkin seeds and the cranberries than I probably should have had. I just turned it around because all the pieces were over here. Oh, the oven's preheated for the bread. Alright, let me go rinse my hands. I have a sponge with soap in it just so I can use that to half-ass wash my hands real quick. I'm going to take a picture of this because it's kind of pretty. Okay, and now I'm going to and this one is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and stop filming for just a second so I can get the other one out and get set up and stuff done. And I didn't realize that it's right before I'm supposed to serve it. I drizzle it with honey. I got the honey and a spoon out, but this goes back in the fridge until you're ready to serve it. So, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again. I just took this out of the freezer. I'm going to go ahead and this is the pistachio and cranberry mixture. going to start with that much. Crap.
American Class Manager. World of Warcraft is going fucking nuts. It's going from almost nothing to 100% usage.
Can you grab that corner and hold it down for me, please? I don't know why it's doing that on your computer.
I don't either. And it's running twice again on everything. I loaded up Battle.net, clicked on load the program, load World of Warcraft, and I looked at it. I landed. I went over to Crash's Landing, and it locked up. Did that thing where I went back to the main window and it went back in, and he moved 2 feet and stopped again. That's my Open Task Manager. It's using almost everything. I'm like, why?
Every time I go to move the parchment paper pieces fall off my hands, I'm going to be killing. Trying to make it rounder again. Oh, I can take a picture of this one. Crap. Alright, let me unload it. I can take a picture. I forgot. Now, I'm sure this would feed, I don't know, a good 15 people at least with just this one log, and I split the recipe in half and made 2 logs out of it, and there's only 2 of us going to be eating this. You can also stick this in the freezer to preserve it longer, but I would suggest wrapping this in like saran wrap or, well, it's not going to really fit into even a gallon size Ziploc bag, but saran wrap the hell out of it in the parchment paper if you're going to stick it in the freezer. So the bread is on the stove. I'm going to let that rise for a little bit. It's risen quite a bit. The roast has an hour and 42 minutes left on high. In about half an hour, I'm going to come and flip it over again. And I still have, oh, and I forgot I needed to add carrots and green beans to it. That was one thing I forgot. So initially it had potatoes, onion, and broccoli and the roast. And then the seasoning I did on the roast. Then I added carrots and green beans to it. The last step that I do, probably like the last half an hour to 45 minutes that I cook the roast, I will end up adding in cabbage on top. Just something I've always done, something my grandmother taught me. She always did, like if we did it in the oven, in the blue speckled pans, you put cabbage all around the very top of it because it also traps moisture in, and then you put tinfoil over it and then put the lid back on so that it circulates through up to the cabbage, cooks the cabbage, melts, like wilts it a little bit. So it's still good, but it's like kind of crisp, but a little bit cooked. Kind of like you're steaming it almost, and it's one of the last steps that I do when I make a roast. And because I didn't start this last night, I would have started this last night and done it on low, but we were playing World of Warcraft, and it was like after midnight when we got done playing, because we played for like 6 hours yesterday, solid, like straight 6 hours. So I didn't have time to get it done last night. So normally I would cook it on low overnight and then add like the cabbage, and we would eat about noon. And here it is 1:17 p.m. and the roast is about half done. It's going to be a little tougher because it's on high, but it is what it is. Everything's in the crock pot on a high temperature, and bread's about ready to go in the oven. Bruschettas, or the cheese for it is in the fridge. So the last thing I'm really waiting on is the roast, and everything vegetable wise is in there with it. So I'm not making like mashed potatoes or separate like side dishes or anything. And then I throw a thing of cranberry sauce, jellied cranberry sauce in the fridge that we'll eat with it. And that's basically everything for my entire Christmas dinner is right there in that pot. And then the bread is on the stove. So anyways, hopefully you guys are liking these. I'll throw this clip in probably somewhere with the roast, probably right after I add the carrots and the whatnot. I might come back and show how I do the cabbage. I'm not quite sure, but hopefully you guys like this cooking stuff on my channel. No makeup today because I did skincare this morning and I didn't feel like putting makeup on. I might later. I don't know. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next clip, and yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good and safe holiday.
Okay.
Hey, grab a cheese log out of the thingy for me and a butcher knife. It's in the fridge. It only had to be in the freezer to form. Might as well grab out a couple of small bread plates or something. Back the counter off, and I got bread pieces all over it.
Some people's kids.
Yeah, well. By the way, I got you back up and running.
I'm running.
You're running.
For the moment.
And I accidentally logged in on a wrong character, so I was like, wait a minute. He wasn't on a warrior, he was on a paladin.
Yeah, it starts back up always on the top one.
Hacksaw or something like that. Alright, grab a butcher knife. Because you're going to need it for the, yeah, you got to get one. The last one I had out, I washed. In the drawer over there, next to the sink. Don't you, yours might hurt for a minute, mine will last a whole lot longer. Turd. So this is the pre-roast beef stuff. And I think that's the cranberry and pistachio one. Or yeah, cranberry pistachio. The one on the bottom was the pumpkin seed and
They were side by side.
the first one closest in is the cranberry and pistachio. The other one is the pumpkin seed and cherry. So
Well, I grabbed the outer one.
it doesn't matter. I just let you know. I know I'm cutting at a fucking angle, and this bread is hard.
I see that.
But it's supposed to be bruschetta, so technically it's supposed to be hard. And this one here blew the fuck up.
Cut it that way. I presume this is my plate.
It doesn't matter.
Get the fuck off my land is over there picking up every leaf and pine needle in the yard.
Has he got his fingers out? Alright, do you want me just to spread it on, or you want me just to leave it on the plate? It might just be easier to spread it on out here.
Oh, that's supposed to be a spread?
I think so.
Uh-oh. It don't look like it's spreading too good.
Well, that's the butt piece.
Make it a mess.
Ah! It's just... Well, that didn't work.
That didn't work.
They just squashed it to the counter instead. I think it's supposed to be a spread. I don't know. It doesn't say how you're supposed to eat it. It just tells you how to make it. Well, if that's one way to eat it. Back to your little butt piece. I wasn't looking, I promise. There. It's a sandwich. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Got teeth left?
It's gonna break my crown again.
I better not. She just put that back on.
And she said this is only temporary.
Yay, nay.
What?
Oh fuck! I forgot. You're supposed to drizzle it with honey. I got the honey out. I can. You want to get a spoon? Because the spoon I got out for that I ended up using for something else. I can drizzle it after.
Uncle Henry's dead.
Yeah. Mandy wasn't doing too good last time I talked to her either, health-wise. She's got fibromyalgia like I do. Get a big spoon. Get a big spoon. Big spoon. Look. Every time I go to smear it towards the edge so it's more even, it... Maybe that'll help with how bad it bites. And I'll tell you what, that stuff has a kick to it. I gotta smear a spot there, maybe so. No smearing spots. And I'll be able to judge by the cabbage on the top of the roast how well the roast is doing. It's a little dense right now. I need it to soften up. So I left this clip in so you guys could see the finished product and whatnot, and just my dad and I's banter. Sometimes. But when I would take it out of that thing, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a long one. Have a good day or night wherever you are. I like it. It's good. Especially with the honey on it. What do you think?
I haven't had a piece yet.
Oh. Yeah, you did. You ate